Hi there, queers and comrades. It is Jason Wyman, aka Queerly Complex, and it is Tuesday, which means that I am late to publishing Jason Reads, which happens every single week, normally on Monday. Jason Reads is my opportunity to share the words and works of others that help me find my place in the chaos of this cosmos. And let's be real, right now, there is a whole bunch of chaos in this cosmos, whether it be the manufactured war on Iran or the genocide of Gazans in Palestine by both the United States and Israel, or whether it is the bombing of Venezuelan boats by the Trump administration, or the genocide of trans people that is here in the United States, or it is the assault on unhoused folks that the state of California continues to do under the leadership of Gavin Newsom, or even here in San Francisco, the budget cuts that are going to be drastically changing the face and quality of care here in San Francisco under the guidance of Mayor Lurie. Our billionaire Epstein class agenda is in full effect all over the world, and it is racing us towards the end of times. That is why I want to encourage you to get involved. Just get involved in something. There are so many crises that are happening, and they are all interlocking, and intersecting. And it means that if you pick an issue that you are passionate about and find some folks to organize with, you too can actually contribute towards the abolishment of us racing towards the end of times. Yes, we need all hands on deck, and we need all hands on deck at every single issue. That is why I personally got involved with the San Francisco People's Budget Coalition, because I wanted a way to get involved locally with some committed comrades that I believe are fighting for the liberation of San Francisco from the billionaire Epstein class. It is also why I started Thursdays Are for Queers and Comrades at 465 Collective with Queer Art Club, Trace Smith, Crystal Mason, and Five Star. It is time for us to create third spaces that activate us in casual ways and reorient power towards power with rather than power over. That is what we are doing at Thursdays Are for Queers and Comrades, which is coming up this Thursday with Reading Club and Crystal Mason. So today I'm going to be reading a section from Truth or Dare by Starhawk. This is a book that has really provided some critical and crucial framing for me around power. And there is more coming from Crystal and I on some formations and domains of power coming very soon in collaboration with Queer Housing Summit. Anyway, that's not yet really announced. Anyway, in this version, I'm going to be reading from chapter 12, Resistance and Renewal. Again, this is Truth or Dare by Starhawk, a wonderful queer spiritual organizing person. I don't even want to say leader. Yes, they are a leader, but I think that they would want to also see themselves as a comrade. So I'm going to read from Resistance and Renewal. The opening quote is from Judy Grahn, who is one of my all-time favorite historians. Judy Grahn. All over the world, the waters are breaking everywhere. The waters are breaking. Judy Grahn from the She Who poems. We are faced with the task of ensuring that the collective story continues so that those who come after us can write their own chapters, so that the memory of those who came before us is not erased. We must preserve and renew the world, remember her back into life. Every day we are surrounded by the culture of death. Its wastes assault our lungs and poison our waters. Its homeless die in our streets, and its hopeless deal in the deserted parks for something to kill the pain. It is diseases attack on our own bodies' defenses, destroying us from within. It's our name, weapons. It's our name. Weapons continue to... Sorry, I lost my place. Destroying us from within. It's our name. Weapons continue to be made that can destroy the world. In our name, wars are begun. Battles are fought. Children are maimed by shrapnel and deformed by radiation before they are born. All of this goes on every day, and though we are the most powerful people in the world, we feel helpless to stop it, much less create something new. To renew the world, we must become like the vulture, who feeds on waste, who is the aspect of the goddess that eats the obstacles to love. To create a culture of life, the vulture must take wing to soar above the constrictions of the skyline and find a vision that reaches beyond the bars, to become the eagle, the great blue heron, the swallow, and the gull. We need more than psychology, more than spirituality and community. We need an economics, an agriculture, a politics of liberation capable of healing the dismembered world and restoring the earth to life. Most of all, we need to make a leap of the imagination that can let us envision how the world could be. Then we need to consider step by step and in concrete detail how to bring our vision about. That project is beyond the scope of any one book and too big for any single person. I can only offer some tools with which we can collectively search for solutions. In this chapter, I offer visions and suggestions that are meant to spark imagination. I draw on work that has been done by many groups and individuals. My intent is not to provide a new political platform, but to suggest directions for exploration and at times push against the boundaries of what we believe is possible. We work magic by creating a vision and then directing energy toward it, removing blocks in our way and generating the forces of change. We may not know how those forces will work themselves out, but we can see the end in mind and begin the motion. When our vision is clear, we can see the first steps we need to take. We cannot necessarily see how the ultimate transformation will take place. No revolution takes place as predicted, for change on the grand scale is a mystery, impossible to completely know or control. To open ourselves to that mystery should not make us passive, but eager to move forward, curious to see how events unfold. We move on as far as we can see the road, and from that vantage point, a new horizon is revealed. Our journey will necessarily encompass both resistance and renewal, acts that oppose the destruction and acts of creation. Resistance challenges power over by confronting it with speech and actions that embody a reality incongruent with that of the authorities. Resistance is rooted in the mysteries that defy the orderer's control and embodies the immanent value of our true selves that cannot be diminished by the judge. In resistance, we violate the taboos and reclaim responsibility for our own truths and actions, finding safety through solidarity with each other. An effective resistance is sustainable, for we know that transforming culture and reshaping the world is a long project, a lifetime term of service. The qualities that make resistance effective are also those upon which we can base the structures and acts of renewal. The immanent value of each living being, the interconnectedness and interdependence of all beings, openness to the unknowable and immeasurable, to wonder, ecstasy, and mystery, personal responsibility and mutual support, the solidarity of risks and benefits, and the creation of systems that are nurturing, healing, and sustainable. What we can do then is clear. First, we can create structures of support, situations that by their inherent structure and function unravel the self-hater's bindings and embody a different reality rooted in freedom. Nourished by that support, using the tool of ritual and the consciousness-changing skills of magic, we can take action in many ways to resist domination, to stop war, to envision and create ways of living that renew and sustain the richness and diversity of life. In the dismembered world, war sets the pattern for every system, every institution of a culture based on power over. To create a new society, we must stop war. To create a new society, we must stop war. Or it will continue to shape our psyche in its image, to supersede all human needs and warp our desires, to replace love with its hierarchy. Contemplating the system of domination that war generates can depress us. It can seem huge and overwhelming, a machine of enormous weight crushing the fruits of our lives, self-propelled and self-maintained with all facets of oppression, reinforcing each other with well-oiled precision. It seems invincible. Especially painful is the recognition that we are not separate from the system of control, but we are a part of them. But we need not despair. Blink your eyes, look again. War's very scope is the telltale evidence of war's fragility. The system of war encompasses all systems because only thus can war be sustained. If the whole world must feed war, then even a small decrease in sustenance can starve war. If the whole world must feed war, then even a small decrease in sustenance can starve war. If war's weight is so great that many are crushed underfoot, then a little softening of the ground can sink the lumbering beast. If war is a towering edifice, then a crack in the foundation can bring it down. Domination is a system, and we are part of it, and in that lies hope. For any system is always in delicate balance, dependent for its stability on the feedback of its parts. When the feedback changes, so does the system. At first, it reacts to regain its stability, but if the new feedback is sustained, the system will be transformed. Domination is not the creation of some evil force, but the result of millions of human choices made again and again over time. Just so can domination be undone by shaping our new choices, by small and repeated acts of liberation. To resist effectively, we must create, for resistance is not a mere withdrawal of energy, but a posing of a reality that challenges power over. The choices we make as we organize, as we struggle to support each other, as we confront systems of control themselves, create new situations. Politics is a form of magic, and we work magic by directing energy through a vision. We need to envision the society we want to create so that we can embody aspects of it in each act we take to challenge domination. The edifice of war and domination is supported by three main pillars: our obedience, the construct of an enemy, and the enormous resources we devote to war. Each of these footings can be undermined. When our vision of what we want is clear, each act we take against an aspect of domination can become a positive act for the alternative we create. A society that could heal the dismembered world would recognize the inherent value of each person and of the planet, animal, and elemental life that makes up the Earth's living body. It would offer real protection, encourage free expression, and reestablish an ecological balance to be biologically and economically sustainable. Its underlying metaphor would be mystery, the sense of wonder at all that is beyond us and around us, and the forces that sustain our lives, and the intricate complexity and beauty of their dance. This is again from Truth or Dare, and just to let you know, this was published in 1987. 1987, that's right. Almost 40 years ago is when this was published, meaning it was more than 40 years ago when this was written by Starhawk. I want to draw us to just a little bit of wonder in this final moment. I have been following a little bit of Artemis 2, which is making its way around the moon. And if you haven't, go listen to the speeches of the scientists and gain a little perspective from way above the Earth, where there are no borders, and we are so small. We are present, but we can't be seen. My name is Jason Wyman. I am also known as Queerly Complex, and you can find out more about me at queerlycomplex.com. That's all I got. Ciao, y'all.